Harry, we've been talking about the fact that you're predicting a huge downturn from here in both stocks and real estate. And it seems like the signs of recession are really here. When you look at a number of companies, there's layoffs. Peloton, Wayfair, Ford, Remax, Best Buy, Walmart. I mean, across the board, we're seeing layoffs. Is this a preview of what we're going to see over the next couple of years?
Yeah, it is. This is the first wave. We've just seen the first wave down in stocks. We've got two more of that size or more coming, and one of them will be more. And so that's over the next year and a half. And the economy's going into recession. They're going to look back and say it started sometime in the summer, okay? Everybody's arguing, is it a recession or not? I don't care. We're moving into a recession and a deep downturn. Housing prices have to come back down to where the millennials and the young people can afford them again. Otherwise, they'll never have the lifestyles we did. Stocks have to come down to where people can invest for their retirement and hope to get a decent return. I saw one study, it's a very good study, that compared the valuation today to the past and said if you buy stocks today, regardless of whether the economy is going to go up now, just on long-term averages, you will be lucky to make 2%. You will lose 2% a year over the next decade. 2% a year you will lose. Why? Because they're overvalued. So how are these millennials going to invest for retirement like the baby boomers? That we're cashing out, retiring at a great time. We've seen the best bull market in stocks and housing and vacation homes and all this stuff we own ever. The next generation is going to be in deep trouble if we do not deflate this greatest financial asset bubble in history. And I got a number on this. Nobody has this. I don't know why. Took a little work, but it's not hard to find. Total financial assets in the world today are almost 7 times GDP at $95 trillion. It's about $600 trillion in financial assets. You know what that number should be historically at that level of GDP? 2 to 250 trillion. We are overvalued by at least $300 trillion in financial assets, which means, Dennis, real simply, because the economy will always get back to balance, we're going to have to lose. People are going to lose half their net worth if you just sit in these markets over the next few years. And listen to your stockbroker, who in good intentions and would be right 90% of the time in the past, would say, oh, just sit through the correction. This, mark my words, is not a correction you're going to want to sit through, because it's not a correction. It is a great reset is the best 2 words. We're going to reset the greatest bubble in history, just like in 1929 before that, and just like on a 90-year cycle, 1835 before that, if you go way back. Major bubbles have to reset back down to normal, and that's what we're going through. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Nobody's going to warn you about it. Nobody's going to understand it until after it happens, and I'm telling you, people are going to turn around and feel like they're the dumbest person on the earth when this bubble crashes, and they go, gosh, of course it was a bubble. Look at that. Why would stocks go up 4 times in 10 years? This is crazy. This is a bubble. And if you don't think it's a bubble, compared to every bubble in history, and you can't even compare it, this bubble is so much bigger, so much longer, and global. This is totally global. Everything's bubbled, all asset classes, and almost everywhere in the world. There is no precedent for this. And anybody says this is not a bubble is blind, has not studied history. This is clearly a bubble. And I'll tell you the last thing, no questions about it, unless this is the first time in all of history, bubbles only burst, and they only burst hard. There's never been a soft landing to any bubble in history.
And Harry, as you were talking, stating that financial assets are overvalued by $300 trillion, it occurred to me that banks have, as assets, financial assets. So what does what you are forecasting do to the banking sector? I mean, we're going to have, we have to have banking failures, don't we?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, just the loans. Most of the loans are against real estate. And if real estate goes down, I mean, you saw what the 2008 crisis did to banks and real estate. Well, imagine real estate going down 50% instead of 34%. That puts more and more loans underwater. Financial assets, people's financial assets go down, and of course they're going to feel less wealthy and spend less on margin. It's not like their income going down where it's a direct impact. This is an indirect impact. If I was worth $5 million and all of a sudden my accountant or stockbroker told me now I'm worth $2 million, and I'm 5 years from retirement, you think I would spend a lot less and save more for retirement, knowing that I don't have as much assets? It was a mirage. Of course it is. So this is going to be a shock to investors, to consumers, but oh my gosh, banks and financial institutions. Your pension plans have all these stocks in them. And they're going to pay you your pension, and your 401k plans has it. Everybody's going to get a shock on this. Nobody is as wealthy as they thought they were. This is a mirage. Bubbles are always a mirage.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race. You're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dahn, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dahn.